Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS NBA on Saturday. We got two games. One's in the afternoon. Actually, the West Coast game, Thunder Mavericks, that's in the afternoon. And then Boston Cleveland's later. Going through Oklahoma City, Dallas. Oh, as far as Friday night, got the Knicks. Lost Minnesota. Actually, Minnesota's not over yet, but they're down like 25 points. It's over. So I went 1-1 in the NBA. It should have been 2-1. Because I said in the video that I like the under if OG Anunoby doesn't play, and I really did like it, but I let myself get scared off of it. So it should have been 2-1, but I was a coward. So 1-1 night, heading into Saturday, Thunder Mavs, let's go.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
All right, Oklahoma City's on the road in Dallas for this one, coming off a home loss in Game 2. Looks like Dallas is now laying 2.5 points. This was at 3.5, then 3. Now I'm seeing 2.5s out there. I wonder if it'll keep dropping. Total sitting at 219.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we see a 3-point Oklahoma City win. Final score 105-102 Thunder. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Oklahoma City, and we have nobody on the report. Thunder are going to be at full strength for this one. On the Dallas side, Maxi Kleber has been ruled out again. He's going to miss another game. Luka Doncic is on the report. He's listed as questionable. Now, I would imagine Luka's going to play, but he is on the injury report, so I have to say it. All right, so let's take a look at this matchup. Obviously, as we know, Oklahoma City took Game 1 comfortably. They won by 22 points. Then in Game 2, they lost 119-110. So why don't we start by looking at what exactly happened in Game 2. And, I mean, a couple things happened that I thought might happen that I said in the video. I expected the rebounding and turnover battles to swing back towards Dallas, and that happened. If you take a look at Game 1, Oklahoma City out-rebounded Dallas 52-39. In Game 2, Dallas won the rebounding battle 44-41. And then turnovers. We talked about the turnovers a lot. Dallas turned the ball over 16 times in Game 1, just 10 in Game 2. Which was dead even with Oklahoma City. Now, these numbers in Game 2, Dallas slightly winning the rebounding battle and the turnover battle pretty even. That's how this series should look, based on how these teams played throughout the year. The first one was the anomaly. Dallas doesn't turn the ball over like that, so the fact that they turned the ball over 16 times in Game 1, that was the anomaly. As far as rebounds and turnovers in this series, it should look like it looked in Game 2. But it wasn't just the rebounds and turnovers that Dallas had going for him. Look at Luka Doncic. In the first 7 games of the playoffs, he was shooting just 39.5%, 22.7% from 3. He found it a bit in the last game. Shot over 52% from the floor, 62.5% from 3. So it wasn't just the rebounds and turnovers. Luka Doncic finally showed up and had an efficient night shooting the ball. And the outside shooting, that's another huge difference from Game 1. In Game 1, Oklahoma City shot 45.7% from 3 to 34.3% for Dallas. Flipped it around in Game 2, 33.3% to 48.6%. If we took the Game 2 rebounding and turnover numbers, which, as I said, that's where these teams should be, and the Oklahoma City Thunder and Dallas Mavericks both shot their season average from three-point in that game, then Oklahoma City wins the game 113-110, which gives us this line. Oklahoma City -3, -3.5 at home. Dallas +3, +3.5 on the road. So it brings the line pretty close. It makes the line make sense. So obviously, when we look at Game 3, we know there's major regression in play in the three-point department for OKC. But the thing is, if Dallas can continue to limit the fast break, Oklahoma City against the Pelicans in the first round, they led the entire playoffs in fast break points per game, 17.8. Dallas has got them down at 12.5. And we mentioned the turnovers. Mavericks are not a team that usually turns the ball over. They did a little bit in Game 1, did a much better job in Game 2. If they limit the turnovers, that should keep these fast break points down for OKC. So overall, if we match these two teams up on paper, if Luka Doncic is back to his normal self, you got to say the value's on Dallas at -2.5 and dropping. I mean, maybe we can even get it at better. So I'm leaning towards the Mavs here. History is definitely on Dallas' side. Since 2006, Game 3 on the road after losing Game 2 at home, just 21-34 straight up, 20-35 against the spread. Also 18-33-4 to the under. So that describes Oklahoma City. Losing Game 2 at home, then Game 3 going on the road. 21-34, 20-35 against the spread. And you know who else falls under that trend? The LA Clippers just in the last round. They lost Game 2 at home in LA, went out to Dallas in Game 3 and got beat. 101-90. Want to know how Dallas shot from outside in that Game 3 against the Clippers? 9 of 35. just 25.7% from 3 in that game, and they still won by double digits. So I'm definitely leaning towards Dallas here. I think the defense is going to show up in a major way, just like it did in Game 3 against the Clippers. Now, if you are looking to bet Oklahoma City, you can point at the fact that down the stretch, Dallas was better on the road than at home, because we're in Game 3. They're back at home now. Since the All-Star break in the regular season, Dallas is 8-3 at home, 10-6 on the road. So really nothing there. But look at the efficiency numbers. 14th at home to 6th on the road. Offensively, 18th at home to 7th on the road. Defensively, even 12th and 13th. Now, obviously, those are numbers from the regular season, so take them with a grain of salt. But if you pull up their numbers in the playoffs, 11th defensive rating at home, 5th on the road. So they have been slightly better on the road in the playoffs as well. I'm just giving you something if you're looking to bet Oklahoma City. And to take it a step further, Oklahoma City in the playoffs has not lost a game yet. They're 2-0 in their 2 trips to New Orleans. 2nd in net efficiency on the road. 13th offensively. 1st defensively. So if you're looking to bet OKC, you can point at the fact that they were absolutely excellent defensively in their 2 road games against New Orleans. I forgot to read these notes off here. So Oklahoma City is 2-0 on the road in the playoffs in their 2 trips to New Orleans in the first round. But the second half of the season, they were actually really struggling on the road, just 8-6 and pretty mediocre numbers efficiency-wise. They were much better at home, which adds to my Dallas lean. I like Dallas here, and I love how everyone's flooding in on Oklahoma City. Good. Buy that line all the way down. Give me a nice, cheap Dallas money line here. I'm on the Mavs. I'm going to bet it. I actually haven't bet it yet because the line's still dropping. Why would I bet it? I'm just waiting it out. I am going to bet Dallas, though. I also like the under. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on that one, though. I did take the under in Game 1. I won, but then I took the under again in Game 2 and got absolutely smoked. It wasn't even close. It was an over game all the way. So I don't know if I pull the trigger on the under, but I definitely like the under. So I'm definitely going to bet the Mavs, and I might also bet the under. I'll let you know on the live show. Boston's on the road in Cleveland for this one. The Cavs are catching 8 points at home. The total sitting at 211.5. Take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the models, you see a 3-point Celtics win. Final score 105-102 Boston. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Celtics. Nothing new here. Porzingis is still out. He's going to miss at least a week or two. I think there is a chance he returns to the playoffs if the Celtics go to the finals. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. He's definitely going to miss at least another week or two. I know that. On the Cleveland side, Jared Allen, questionable again. I believe it's 5. He hasn't played since Game 4 of the Orlando series, so I believe that's 5 straight misses. And the fact that he's been listed as questionable in every single game really doesn't give me a ton of faith here. They might be pulling a Cam Rising. For those of you who follow college football, you'll get that joke. Also, I forgot to mention Dean Wade may return for Cleveland. He's listed as questionable. He hasn't played since March 8th, so the Cavs may be getting another shooting piece back. So my notes for this game are really scattered, so I'm just going to scroll through. It might not be the most crisp video, but it's almost 1 in the morning, and I want to get this out. We have the live show. So obviously we need to talk about Game 2. Cleveland beat the hell out of them, 118-94. Take a look at some of the deeper numbers from that game. You could see Cleveland just beat them across the board. 54.7% from the floor to 41% for Boston. Look at 3-point shooting, over 46% to 22.9. Out-rebounded them 44-31. I mean, Cleveland just controlled that game start to finish. And a big part of that, Cleveland was closing out on the perimeter. They were not giving Boston as many open looks in Game 2 that they had in Game 1. You can see here, Game 1, 3-point shots with 4 feet or more space, 39 attempts, and they made 15 of them, 38.5%. They only shot 25.9% of them in Game 2. So you might look at that and be like, oh, well, Kyle, there it is. Celtics made less of their open shots. But look at the attempts, 27. So 12 less open threes in Game 2. What does that tell me? Tells me Cleveland's closing out on the perimeter and forcing Boston inside to score on the interior. And if I'm Cleveland, I'm doing the same exact thing. Because remember, not only are the Cavs one of the best interior defenses over the course of the season, but in round 1 against the Magic, in their 4 home games, Orlando shot just 46.4% on field goal attempts less than 10 feet. So around the basket, Orlando was terrible. This is best in the NBA, best in the playoffs by far. This is the Cavs defense at home. Now you might be thinking, wow, Kyle, that's the Orlando Magic. This is Boston. Orlando's actually better offensively as far as scoring at the rim. like way better than Boston. Boston's obviously a much better offense because they shoot the three-point shot. But as far as scoring on the interior, Orlando was one of the best in basketball at that. And if you pull up the Cavs home-away splits from this postseason, you can see, I mean, Cavs a perfect 4-0 at home with a plus 8.9 efficiency, 13th out of 16 offensive rating. So the offense really hasn't been that great at home. Look at the defense. Second highest defensive rated team at home in the playoffs so far. So you got this Cleveland defense that played great at home in the opening series against Orlando. Maybe they figured something out in game 2, close out on the perimeter, make Boston come inside and try to score on Mobley and maybe Jared Allen. I don't know if he's going to be out there, but try to score on their elite interior defense. It's not terrible. I'm not saying the Cavs are going to win the game, but I'm saying it's not a terrible path to victory. Here's the bad news for Cleveland. Yeah, they're a perfect 4-0 at home in the playoffs, but Boston hasn't lost a road game either. I mean, it's just 2 games on the road in Miami, but they were 2-0 with a plus 18.8 net efficiency, 4th offensively, 2nd defensively. So the Celtics were absolutely flawless in their 2 road games of the first round as well. But you know what? Want to know what happened last time Boston went on the road to Cleveland? They lost. Final score 105-104, and everyone played in that game. Holiday, Porzingis, Brown, Tatum, they all played. Boston was at full strength for this game, went on the road to Cleveland and got beat. That was on March 5th. Now, as far as historic trends here in this spot, favors Boston slightly. Teams that lose game 2 as home favorites. So Boston was a home favorite in game 2. They got upset and lost, and are favored again on the road in game 3. Obviously, Boston laying 8 points here on the road. They are 17-9 straight up and 15-11 against the spread. I mean, that's not a crazy number, just 15-11 against the spread, but it does show if a team gets upset at home as favorites and then goes on the road and odds makers favor them again, more often than not, they're right. So if you're on Boston, you definitely like that trend. Personally, as far as what I'm betting, I mean, if you want the God's honest truth, I don't have a clue. I really don't know what to do here. I really haven't been comfortable placing bets in this series, game 1 or 2. I put down that stupid Celtics same game parlay in game 1 and in game 2. I went 1-1 with them, so I split. I want to take Cleveland. I want to take Cleveland plus 8. Back the defense at home. I think that sounds crazy based on what Boston did to Miami in game 3 after losing game 2 at home. So I get it if you're on Boston, and it's not necessarily that I think Cleveland's a good bet. I really don't have a lean in this one, but it's an NBA playoff game and I want to gamble. So I'm going to take Cavs plus the points because it'll be more fun for me to watch. I don't like Boston laying the points either, though. So it's not like I'm like, oh, you should take Boston. I'm taking Cleveland plus 8. I think that's a shot to win. It'll be a small bet just for fun. As far as the total in this game, I like the under at 211.5. Again, I didn't bet this yet. I like the under in game 2 as well. It either won or pushed. You either got 212 or 212.5. It landed on 212. I didn't really understand why everyone was on the over in game 2. Yeah, there were some points in game 1, but they were all scored in the first quarter. There were 74 points scored in the first quarter of game 1. From the second quarter on, that was an under game. And these two teams have been putting up low numbers recently. There's a reason this series has gone the way it has, and they got the total all the way down to 211.5 here. So odds makers even dropped the total. So yeah, I like the under. If you're asking what I would bet as far as the total, I don't know if I actually bet that, but I'd go under. I am going to bet Cleveland plus 8, and I'll probably put some on the money line for fun, but I wouldn't say I have a real strong lean here. If you want my top bets for NBA or MLB, oh my God, MLB. I just had a rough baseball Friday night, man. I don't even want to talk about MLB, actually. But if you want those, they're over on KyleKirms.com. You could also get the top bets from anyone on the staff here. Like I said earlier, live show 11:30. I might go live early with some spreadsheets, so I'll probably be live around 10:30 maybe. But the actual show starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Go through NHL, NBA, and MLB. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Let's have ourselves a good weekend here. Friday didn't start as planned, man. MLB crushed me. Actually, let me check scores right now in front of you. Please tell me the Giants took the lead. Of course not. And the Angels blew it. Oh, my God. MLB crushed me today. Wow. So, yeah, I need a bounce back Saturday. Talk to you guys tomorrow.